Sailing with the radar doesn't mean the sea is smooth. In the day 42 of the Lamma Island Ferry collision inquiry, the coxswain of Sea Smooth, Lamma, told the panel that he doesn't like to use radar. Grilled by the panel's counsel, Paul Shedd, in the morning session, Lamma admitted that he had been sailing between Central and Yongshue-1 of Lamma Island for a long period of time and had been familiar with the navigating channel. As a result, he hardly used the radar and didn't use the compass either, even on the night that the fatal accident occurred. Paul Shedd questioned Lamma, why doesn't he use radar? Light admitted that it was a matter of neglect. Paul Shedd went on, was it because you were familiar with the route? Light replied, yes, and hardly used the radar, even on the night of fatal accident. Paul Shedd asked, how often do you use the radar? Light replied, occasionally. Paul Shedd went on, was it because a matter of personal preference? Light replied, yes. Light recalled the final moments before the collision. He told the panel that he saw a black shadow about 3 vessels linked in front of Sea Smooth, which emerged from the fog light near a typhoon shelter. He called it a black shadow because he couldn't see the navigation lights and the black shadow didn't sound the horn either. Subsequently, he realized that it may well be a vessel sailing towards Sea Smooth, so he decided to avoid collision by applying reverse thrust and turning right, but it was too late as Sea Smooth collided with Lamma IV seconds later. He told the panel that both vessels drifted apart for 2 vessels' length of Sea Smooth. After the impact, he left the wheelhouse and shoved towards Lamma IV. He couldn't get response from Lamma IV and didn't find anyone from Lamma IV screaming. Instead, he said the passengers on Sea Smooth were screaming and found some passengers were injured. Shortly after the impact, the engineer of Sea Smooth, Lo Pui-kei, told Lamma that the port side of the vessel was damaged and water was flooding into the lower deck cabin, and warned Lamma that beware of the reefs on the port side of Sea Smooth while the vessel was still drifting after the impact. With passengers injured and demanding to disembark, Lai decided to carry on the voyage towards Yongshue-1 of Lamma Island. All these were challenged by the council hired by the Hong Kong Electric, Clive Grossman, after the midday recess. Clive Grossman grilled Lamma in the afternoon session that had he shouted towards Lamma IV outside the wheelhouse of Sea Smooth, how could he unable to hear people screaming from Lamma IV? Lai replied that he could only hear passengers of Sea Smooth screaming, and hence he returned to the cabin and asked anyone injured. Clive Grossman accused Lamma lying, but Lai rejected this claim, saying he had tried to offer assistance to Lamma IV. He insisted that he was busy in calling the police, marine department, and his serving company, and the situation on Sea Smooth was very chaotic. He had no extra hands to deal with other matters. Regarding the issue of rice cooker found in the wheelhouse of Sea Smooth, Lai admitted that it was his property and often used it to cook while on duty. He also told the panel that he didn't eat anything during his shift on the day that the fatal accident occurred. The fatal accident occurred at about 8:30 p.m. on October 1st, 2012, when Lamma IV, which was owned by Hong Kong Electric Company Limited, collided with a scheduled ferry, Sea Smooth, which was owned by the Hong Kong and Kowloon Ferry Limited. Lamma IV was carrying 124 company staff and friends of Hong Kong Electric Company Limited from the company's power plant on Lamma Island to Victoria Harbour for a fireworks show, while Sea Smooth was en route from Central to Lamma Island. Lamma IV sunk shortly after the collision, killing 39 passengers on board. That concludes Lamma's testimony. Tomorrow, the Marine Department will be under the spotlight as Senior Surveyor of Ship Wong Wing-chun will be testified at the hearing. The hearing continues. Eric Low, INT, Lower Albert Road.